Hi, everyone. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get used to saying that since uh, I have, I'm growing, which is nice. Okay, so let's talk about this is the review of Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, episode 3. So it's, I think you should already know where I'm going with this, but it starts where episode 2 stops, where we are at Margaret's pool party or pool gathering or whatever we want to call it. And we are talking about, we're at the pool party and we are talking about the relationship. Actually, it's Teresa and Melissa that are having this little discussion, and it seemed to have kind of, I guess, worked out temporarily, where Melissa wants to call her out on lying about where she sat at the engagement party. Like this. Again, I don't understand why this matters, but whatever. So she feels like it's a lie that Teresa wanted Melissa and her brother, Melissa and her husband, Teresa's brother, to sit at the table with her. So they felt slighted that they were at the kids' table. Okay, fine. Out of curiosity, um, everyone can't sit at the same table. We do realize that. So we're upset that uh so what if she did this? If she had her and Louis sisters and her brother sitting at the table, would that be okay? And their kids, would that be okay? And Melissa would have had to sit someplace else with her kids. Are we okay with this? I'm sure they're not going to be. It appears that Joe, and I'm sick and tired of it all being put on Melissa, because Joe is getting a pass for what he says and does when it is Melissa and Joe together that are making decisions. Teresa only blames it on Melissa, and I'm not cool with blaming it on Melissa. I think that Joe has a lot more accountability in this. So, and part of this, I do believe that Joe has a lot more accountability, because what he could do is he could nip it in the bud. He could be like, okay, look, Melissa, chill. Teresa, chill. But that doesn't make for good TV. And it also means that you have to be accountable. And neither one, and it's fascinating because they always blame Teresa for not being accountable. Neither one of them want to be accountable. Here's the thing. Teresa in her in her mind, she's thinking all things are good, because she specifically asked Melissa, okay, Melissa, you want to be in the wedding? You want to be a bridesmaid? Well, no, I don't want to be that now that I'm being asked second. Okay. So for 2 episodes and your own podcast and all these other outlets, you've complained about not being asked to be in the wedding, right? Now you are specifically asked to be in the wedding. And now it's, I don't want to be in the wedding because you, I don't want to be in the wedding because You didn't ask me before? Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing? Really? So then, did Melissa tell Joe that Teresa asked her to be in the wedding and she rejected it? Because then now, for the rest of the episode, we have Joe explaining that he didn't invite me to the wedding. You know, he didn't have Melissa in the wedding, and Louis and Teresa didn't have Melissa in the wedding, and now you're not inviting Melissa's in-laws. Okay, pause. Why should she be able to invite the in-laws? Now, if my sister-in-law got married, and is there an yes, she has been in my mother's house, and yes, she knows my mother. Um, but is there an expectation that she's supposed to invite not just me, but my mother? And then what about my mother's brothers? I just find this to be so, so ridiculous that when they did that whole, but they loved each other. We're a big Italian family and we invite the entire universe to the wedding. I mean, ma'am, that's Melissa's parents. Melissa's parents does not deserve an invite to the wedding. Grow up. I appreciate I'm fast forwarding. So they get to Joe is having an all boys thing, or all the boys are having, all the guys are having it. And, Joe orders all these shots, blah, blah, blah. And Louis the last one. Joe's talking, this is not the Italian way. This is an insult, right? And he's doing all of this pontificating before Louis gets in. And so then Louis like, let's keep it 100. Teresa's, I don't appreciate him telling her age, but Teresa's in her 50s. She deserves the wedding she wants. And I was like, you know what? I'm down with that statement. She absolutely deserves the wedding she wants because it is not about extended family. This is about me and him. And when you're younger and you get married, then of course, like the parents are all involved. I know when I got married, my mom was like, and I got married at what, 29, 28, 29. And my mother was absolutely like, my mother and his mom too. Like it was like, okay, so who are we? Like we got to invite this person and this person. Like I mean, the parents have a lot more say. But when you get to like 50, I'm not sure if I care about like all of these extra people being at the wedding. Like it's going to be who I invite because more than likely I'm paying for this wedding. So it's not the same. And the fact that he thinks her brother is going to get this animated over his, are you invited to the wedding? Absolutely. Her brother's kids, and of course the wife are the only people that need to be invited in the wedding. Do you even need, like, the notion that she wants bridesmaids, I think is kind of hilarious. Like, I think I'm in my 50s, I'm getting married, I'm not having all these miscellaneous people in the wedding. It's just gonna be me and him. So the notion that she's doing all these bridesmaids, and of course she's going to have his side of the family to be involved because she's trying to bring bridges. She has her mom and dad are dead. Like, I mean, she doesn't really talk to like her extended family as much. So all she has is like friends. And I think what is the most bothersome of all of this to me is that I really, really wish, and I listened to her, Teresa did a Carlos King interview. I think I said that before. And at the end of the day, the thing that I want to hear is this: I don't like Melissa. And because I don't like Melissa, you, sir, my brother, are not going to be as close with me because I don't like your wife, which is understandable. So can we just be good? Can we may not be close, we're not going to pick up the phone and call each other, but when we are in each other's orbit, let's be good. I'm not going to talk about you. You don't talk about me, and we'll just coexist. Okay? That to me is legit. But what is so in this interaction between Louis and Joe, I love these one syllable names. Anyway, Louis said to Joe, she's also kind of hurt because you and your wife are going around saying how much you were there for her girls when she was in jail. And all of that was a bald-faced lie. And what's so fascinating about that is Joe was like, I didn't say, because it was like that you were there to help feed them, like you were there, like this influential person, right? And Joe wanted to take this moment to talk semantics. And Joe was like, well, I didn't say that I was the reason for them eating, but I was. So it sounds like you co-signing what her daughters said, that y'all lying. Because see, you got to go back a couple seasons when Teresa got out of jail. He made it perfectly clear. Um, Joe and Melissa got on Beyonce's internet and also was on TV in the season. Go back those seasons and talk about how how they were always really there. They did the whole Teresa went to jail series, and they were always present in almost every other scene. And when she got out of jail, it was like, oh, I'm going to always be there for my sister. I was picking up the kids, I was feeding and doing like all of this, right? And the thing is, I think the issue that I'm having is issue one is, why is this now coming up? And what it appears is that, and now it makes sense because Teresa on the Carlos King podcast or YouTube channel, either one, said that I don't watch old episodes. I don't watch Real Housewives of New Jersey. And now she's going back and watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey, which I probably think is a bad idea because it's completely hurting your psyche. And she's getting all upset all over again. And the thing that she's most upset over is how he's making comments about, well, there's a lot of things she's upset with. A lot of things is the fact that Melissa was forcing her way on the show through feeding information to Danielle. And the thing is that now this all makes sense to me if you go back and watch those older episodes, the first season, second season, and you're like, where she makes comments like, where are you getting this from? Where are you getting this from? Right. And it's like, she didn't realize that Melissa was behind the scenes kind of giving info to people. And I was like, oh, that puts a lot of one and one together for me. But the second thing, this is the kicker to me, is she is now going back and she's watching these episodes where they're specifically explaining um, um, what they did for the kids. And so she's like, wait, none of this happened. Like, you guys were not involved with my kids. You guys, and the kids were seeing her every week, having conversations. Because essentially, this is, and it's fascinating because Melissa and Joe's comments on this show now is in direct contradiction, or even on the recent snippet that they put on the from the podcast on the show, is in direct contradiction to what they said in the past. Because what they said in the past is this, that they were so involved with the kids while Teresa was like, they were their second mom, taking them to school, like they were doing all this stuff, right? And now they're making the assertion that they were involved for one particular reason, because Joe didn't have a job. Teresa didn't have a job. Teresa's husband didn't have a job. So, ex-husband. And so what they did is they were filmed. Get this. They filmed with the girls in order to make sure that money was coming in. So you mean to tell me that Bravo needed Melissa and Joe to film with the girls, not the parents, not any other adult, but Melissa and Joe coming over to film was putting money in that family's house. Girl, you think we boo-boo the fool? You really think we are boo-boo the fool? Tell it what it is. You wanted an extra check on a spin-off show, and they allowed you to get an extra check on a spin-off show. That's the truth. That has do not put this on. They needed you to film with the girls in order for them to make money. Teresa, especially at that time, was the name of the show, the bigger name of the show. You were not. So I don't like liars. She went through this whole beginning of the episode, right? Talking about, I don't like liars. Okay. Well, And the fact that when Louis called out Joe in front of everyone, I appreciated that aspect. And I know I'm not a Louis fan, but I did appreciate that aspect because I felt like it forced Joe to backpedal. Well, that's not what I said. That's not what you said. Can we roll the good footage? That is what you said. And you're lying. You're lying to us. Sir, you're lying to us. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it feels like we're being lied to. And so there is a lot of backpedaling that's going on. The daughters made statements, and then at first Joe was like, how dare you even act like I wasn't there for the kids when Teresa was in jail? And it's like, well, they're talking about it. Well, they're not talking about it. You're not even at the house to even know if they're not talking about it. How can you tell them that they're not talking about it? Okay. This Joe, Melissa versus Teresa storyline is getting annoying, because it's at the point that I feel like, especially, I mean, Teresa is a problem too, but it definitely feels like that Joe and Melissa, especially this episode, is literally playing in our face. And I'm over it. I don't know about you all, but I know that I'm over it. There has to be more in the storyline for Melissa and Joe then this woe is me, Teresa, don't like me. So I don't, and then I'm assuming that you guys don't want to go to the wedding because Melissa's parents aren't invited. Okay, is she supposed to go to? What is what reaction do you want from Teresa? Is she supposed to lose sleep because you don't want to go to her wedding? I don't like where this is going. And if we're going to have a season 14, heaven forbid, I won't be I don't know. I this is going to be a review of one season and done. And but if I do decide to continue this, I will say that the I will say that we need to um if we decide to continue, sorry, I got a text message, but if we decide to continue this, then Melissa and Joe, and you're going to be on this season, you're going to be on this, you're going to be on the next season, then ma'am and sir, y'all need to have another storyline. Teresa cannot be your only storyline. You cannot have Teresa's name coming out of your mouth 20,000 times per episode. Move on. With that being said, let's see what else happened in this season. Let's pull up the rest of it. What else happened? Uh, hmm. Okay, is it Danielle? Is that what it is? Oh gosh, let me get the because I need to get the names. Danielle has her own problems with her own family, so I ma'am, when you have problems with people in your own family, I'm gonna need you not to comment on other people's family. I just want to put that out there, but I will appreciate this, which I thought was hilarious. um, oh, that's oh gosh. Which okay, wait, hold on, let me look at the um yeah, Danielle. She has her own problems with her own brother. They had this whole they had a whole thing with the kid coming up. I thought it was kind of cute where she was talking about her inspiration for doing her art by all these different artists. I thought that was so adorable. And even though I think that it could be a little bit ridiculous that you invite all these family and friends over here to have your daughter to present, as ridiculous as that is, as a kid, I used to do the same thing. So therefore, I was like, okay, I can't get too ruthless on that one. Now, the new cast member, Rachel Fuda, having she wants another kid. Okay. Oh, back up. Danielle, the relationship between your brother. I that seems like there's a deeper issue than you getting upset. You get upset because he criticized you and thus you blocked him. Seems like a deeper issue than just that casualness, right? In my opinion, right? It seems like there's been some other things that went down historically, and this may have been the thing that made your brother angry. But Danielle told Melissa that it's the in-laws. She's like, well, the wife uh should be the one to help mediate the relationship with the family. And Melissa was like, "Ah, it's not that way, right?" She took horrible offense. And you know what? I agree. I agree with Danielle because um but I also think it's on Joe's fault too. I mean, I think it's the husband's fault too. I do not get into the middle of the family drama on um on my husband's side, and he does not get into the family drama on my side. And I just think that it's just best that way. I may provide my thoughts to him personally. He may provide his thoughts to me personally, but we don't carry it back to the other side of the family so that people won't like each other. Like we want everyone to be able to get along. So I don't understand why that's a big deal. And even when me and my mom had an issue early on in our relationship, I let you know right now, he was the one who was like, that is your mother. Y'all need to get it together. My mother thought that he was trying to pull us apart. And he was the one who was like, nah, she is your mom. Y'all need to be together. Like, and I feel the same way too. So about his family, that is your sister, that is your mom, that is your dad, that is these are these important people to you. There is zero possibility that I want them to not talk to me because of me, not talk to him because of me, and vice versa. And Melissa and Joe does not understand that concept at all. So Rachel wants another baby. They just had this baby. She has fertility issues, which I think is kind of interesting to hear about. And she has one baby. She's like, we need another baby. He's like, can we hold, please? And she's like, nah. I think it's kind of interesting. Anyway. Mm, I didn't really see too much of Dolores than the rest of the cast on here. Oh, actually, there is one thing I wanted to say about Dolores. Dolores has this new boyfriend, and I've always kind of felt something. I always kind of felt a way about Frank. I thought Frank was too around. He needed to take 10 steps back. And so I'm really kind of interested to see how Frank is trying to get along with Polly. Anyway, the names. And I don't know how this is going to work. Frank wants to have a relationship with somebody else, but then wants to be in Dolores's life as if they have two small children and they're not divorced. And it's like, sweetie, y'all are divorced and y'all don't have babies together. Y'all have grown adult children. You need to move on. And she's clearly not interested in this quasi relationship that you have. So let it go. And it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to work. But without that being said, um, oh, the last tidbit, Jennifer and Bill. I think that Jennifer is not able to really forgive Bill, and you need to just be honest because you're just not treating him well. And it looks like, I'm gonna let you know right now, that if he doesn't divorce you, he's gonna go back to cheating on you. Because someone who's already cheated on you before, best believe that they already have broken that wall, that level of comfort. And I'm not saying that it's your job to prevent him from cheating on you, but I am going to say that nobody is going to tolerate being treated the way that she's treating him on camera. Like this is not sustainable. And it is pretty clear that Bill is going to in the next episode, Bill's going to say something similar to that. And Bill may not divorce you, but he's absolutely going to have another relationship with somebody else. So you're going to have to make a decision. You either forgive and let it go. That's a hard one to swallow. Or divorce. This is the longest video that I've given on Real Housewives in Jersey. And I will see you all next time.